Thank you for checking out this episode of Match Monday. This is episode 5. Today we'll be looking at this dual meet of Bo Nickal versus Myles Martin in 2018. Bo Nickal wrestles for Penn State and Myles Martin for Ohio State. This is one of the best dual meets of the last 20 years, and this is by far the most anticipated match of that dual meet. Both are returning NCAA champions, and both have beaten each other in the past. Myles Martin actually pinned Bo Nickal for his NCAA title in 2016, and Bo beat Myles at last year's dual meet. These guys had one of the best college rivalries of recent memory, and you're about to see why. This is a great match. It's truly a chess match of two grandmasters. Bo is trying to use his length to get into these collar ties, and you can see he is getting heavy on Myles' head pretty early here. You're going to notice here Bo starts slapping Myles' right arm away. Myles is taking the bait. He's going to reach one last time, and Bo's going to take that little half shot there, and Myles was able to obviously defend pretty easily and get to his own 2-on-1. This first period is a lot of a feel-out process. Both guys kind of trying to figure out where they can get to a hold, what tie is going to work for them in this match, where they can find an opening. As you can see right there, they got to an over-under position, and that's where Bo's really strong, and Myles Martin worked really hard to get out of that really fast. Bo is able to snap Myles' head just under Bo's chin, and he's going to work for a front headlock for the next few seconds here. Myles is able to circle up, but Bo goes right back to it with a heavy club, and he's going to snap Myles back underneath him. This is a super safe position to go to. You're not putting yourself at a ton of risk by looking for a front headlock, and you've got a lot of opportunity to score there. These guys are both super dangerous, so that's a great spot for Bo to be looking to score where he's not putting himself at big risk. They end up going back to this collar tie position, though, and it looks like Bo wants to be a little bit more extended than Myles. So sometimes based on the extension of someone's arms, there's different setups available to you, so I'm not sure if Bo just likes always working from these longer ties or if it's something that he's trying just against Myles to set something specific up. In any case, it seems to be kind of irrelevant because neither guy can really get anything going at this point. We've kind of seen one half shot from Bo and really nothing from Myles from an offensive standpoint. So again, it's a really long feel-out process in this first period. Both guys are super dangerous. They're both pinners, so they're both trying to keep themselves safe while trying to get to their own positions. Now, business is about to pick up with Bo's shot here. Myles is going to try and go behind, and he's going to end up behind Bo. So they're rear standing, and Bo's going to reach back and throw that whizzer in. And watch what he does here. He goes right to a Granby roll. And as he does that, he's able to capture Myles' left leg, and they get into a scramble here. Bo ends up switching to Myles' right leg, which is pinned on the mat, and Bo is in a much better position now to score. And Myles bails on the position and is trying to work his way out of bounds. And Bo ends up getting the takedown. The takedown for Bo was called. At this point, the referee has made no call for Myles to score any points. Tom Ryan and the Ohio State wrestling staff feel that Myles should have been awarded points based off the fact that they were rear standing and there is no reaction time for a takedown from the rear standing position. So they are going to review this call from Ohio State saying that Myles had a takedown before Bo scored his takedown. If Ohio State was to win this challenge, Myles would be awarded 2 points, Bo's takedown would be wiped from the score, and Myles would start in the top position. They review the call forever, but here it is one more time. Bo's got a whizzer in as Myles tries to go big step and sag him down, and Bo never touches the mat. He goes right to a Granby roll, and a scramble ensues. The call is going to stand that Bo Nickal scored the takedown, and Myles never scored a takedown. I have to say I agree with the call. At no point did Myles have control, and in folk-style wrestling, you are allowed to roll across your back without giving up control. So I think the refs got it right on this one, but you'll see as they go out of bounds, they bump into the sign there. Tom Ryan was also upset about that sign being too close to the mat and guys bumping into it during action. I could see refs not giving takedowns because of the interference of that sign. Okay, so here we go. Back to action. Bo is up 2-0. He's on top trying to build up some riding time at the end of the first period. Bo is working a crab right here and trying to get his legs in as Myles is working to keep his knees together. He gets his hips up and away, and he's trying to scoot out. He does not want to be in that over-under with Bo Nickal. Bo's got him in that front headlock. He's still under, and he finally earns that escape with very short time left in the first period. The score is now 2-1 at the end of the first period in favor of Bo Nickal of Penn State. Both guys are okay with letting time expire here, and Bo's going to get choice in the second. He's going to pick the bottom. I find it interesting. Bo doesn't have much of a first move here. He kind of lets Myles get to that claw ride, and then he stands right up, and he kind of dares Myles to try to return him here, and Myles is just going to cut him, give up that 1 point, so it's now a 3-1 lead for Bo Nickal of Penn State. So now Myles is down 3-1, so he's going to have to start opening up here and taking more chances than he did in the first period. He tries a little head club sweep single to his left side, but Bo feels it coming and nothing happens. They're going to hand fight a little bit more here, and Myles is going to circle out to reset. And sometimes this circling out motion can be a dead giveaway that someone's getting ready to take a chance. Myles is going to get heavy on Bo's head and then take a low leg. Bo is able to move his leg out of the way just enough to get Myles' head on the outside. This allows Bo to safely sit the corner, and look how he kicks that leg in to put it in the position he wants. Myles steps to the outside of Bo's legs, and Bo is able to get a crotch lock. As Bo rolls him through, look how Myles sits his far hip to the mat so that Bo isn't able to roll him all the way through. This allows Myles to land in this waterfall position, which is much better than where he was before. However, Bo wrestles everywhere. He's got this weird head and arm with his legs, and he's working on Myles' ankle. Bo tips Myles to his left hip, and he's got an armbar in there, and it looks like something even distracted him for a moment, like he thought the referee blew the whistle. Bo is in a much more secure position. He's going to try to kick off of Myles' armpit to get away, and the ref actually blows this one as a stalemate. And that last scramble is what I mean when I say that this is a masterclass in wrestling. These two guys are total studs. So we are back to neutral. It is still 3-1 in favor of Bo Nickal of Penn State. It is still the second period. So they are going to continue to hand fight in the middle. It's a little bit more active than it was in the first period, and I think that Myles is kind of trying to think about how to open this guy up when all of a sudden Bo Nickal is going to take a high C on his right side. Myles actually catches Bo's arm back there, and look at the power and adjustment from Bo to get into that strong high C position. Myles is defending by reaching over. He's trying to get a crotch lock of his own. Now he's looking ankle. Bo's able to dump Myles on his hip. He's going to hook those legs and collect his 2 points. It is now 5-1 in favor of Bo Nickal. And he's starting to build a lead, and you can see that Myles is starting to get concerned and knows that he needs to score a lot of points in a short amount of time. The period ends, and it's now Myles' choice, being down 5-1 going into the third. Myles picks bottom, and he kind of does the same thing Bo does on bottom. He lets Bo get to that claw ride before he starts trying to move or do anything. As Bo tries to go to a coffee grinder on his right side, Myles is able to get to his feet. Myles is working on those hands as Bo tries a cutback, and Myles is able to stay on his feet and earn an escape. Bo goes right back to his high crotch, and Myles tries to defend with a leg pass, but he misses the leg, so he ends up trying to get distance, but Bo is able to circle behind, almost gets a cradle, but does score his 2 points for a 7-2 lead, and you can see that Myles is very distraught at this point. It's very easy to tell that something mentally has changed with Myles after this most recent takedown. The wind is definitely out of his sails, and mentally, I think he came in thinking he was going to win this, and at this point, he feels very, very unlikely to win this. So you can see on the bottom, he's really not doing much other than keeping his base. Bo breaks him flat, and he's just really having a hard time even building his base at this point. However, notice Bo is continuing to work. He is looking for ways to score. He is riding the turn right now. So definitely a tale of two wrestlers right now. Bo is definitely riding high on his momentum. He's happy that about how this match is going, and you could tell that Myles is obviously not happy with it, and he's trying to just mentally get himself back in the match to continue fighting for his team. Don't forget about how in wrestling we say you're never out of it, but obviously Myles is not feeling like he's got much of a chance right now. And Bo is going to an arm bar, and he's got that sucker deep. He's pinning Myles' arm all the way against the mat to try to get his hips up. And now Bo is looking crusher finish here. He's going to look to wrap Myles' head and run him over. Myles is able to fight this off. Unfortunately, he does not earn an escape, and Bo is still on top working to score. Bo's going to look for an inside cradle here, and Myles is going to flatten out, and Bo circles back up on top. Again, Myles deflated flat on the mat here. Bo goes right back to the same kind of turn, except this time he gets a calf crusher with it, and he's going to sink that deep, and he wrenches Myles over. There's only 3 seconds left. He gets a 2 count, which makes the score 9-2, but Bo also secured riding time, so it makes it 10-2. So he just earned a major decision for his team. Getting that bonus point is a huge deal. This is the #1 and #2 teams in the country. Bo Nickal and Penn State are jacked up about getting that bonus point. Their national champ getting a bonus point over the Ohio State national champ. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the little bell, as it helps my channel out a great deal. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on the next one.